Every big patch for Star Wars Force Arena is exciting, not only for the gameplay tweaks and changes, but also the new heroes that come with it. Today we'll be focusing on what new heroes we should be expecting in the game in the upcoming patches. So let's think for a moment. What kind of new heroes, or in-game terminology, legendary cards, could be brought into Star Wars Force Arena? The game, of course, primarily focuses only on the Galactic Civil War era, at least for the time being, and it already has a decent number of heroes in the game for each faction. But as fans of the game, of course, we always want more. Luckily, Netmarble, the game developers, will happily oblige as long as it keeps the user base interest and engagement in the game on a high. So what heroes should we expect in the upcoming patches of the game, for both the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire? Right now we have heroes included from the original trilogy, the Star Wars Rebels animated show, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, and finally from the Star Wars Marvel comic book series. Fortunately, this leaves Netmarble quite a bit of options to play around with. I'll name several potential characters who we could be seeing, but remember, this is really opinion based. First off, we'll start with the Rebels. Considering the latest Rebel hero we got was Hera of the Lothal Rebel Spectres, I honestly can see Zeb being our next Rebel hero. With his bow rifle and brute force strength, Zeb would be pretty much the Rebel clone of Kallus. Which I wouldn't mind. The Rebels don't really have a legendary like this at the moment, and they could use more melee characters, considering a large chunk of the Rebels are long-range characters. I could see either AP5 or Rex being his unique card. Honestly, you know, a character has a good chance of getting into the game if he's got two viable options as uniques. Our next Rebel hero can definitely be Ashoka Tano. Another melee Rebel legendary, but what makes her different from the rest would be her speed. Almost make her like the Rebel counterpart of the 7th Sister. Unfortunately, unlike the 7th Sister, Ashoka can't really use her lightsabers to hover around the map, so Netmarble would really have to think about giving her some pretty good abilities. If Netmarble don't give Zeb Rex as his unique, then it definitely goes without saying that Ashoka should get him, considering their past in the Clone Wars and all. Finally, we could see Saw Gerrera as the 3rd Rebel Legendary card. Considering Saw's physical disabilities, he'll be a pretty slow character, but offer some great status boosts, and maybe use an explosive type of special ability. His unique would be Edrio's 2-Tubes, who I could see being a sniper or a short-range type of unit. Would make for an interesting combo. Now on to the Empire. It's a little more tricky, but doable. Considering we have 3 bounty hunters who don't technically belong to the Empire, we could always go to the EA Battlefront route and choose Greedo as an Imperial hero, but I doubt they would go in that direction. So I can see Commander Oresco and Taskmaster Grint as being 2 amazing viable Imperial hero options. Okay, probably not. Instead, we could see General Veers as an Imperial Legendary card, who would be a ranged tactical hero with the likes of Tarkin or Thrawn, but have a AT-AT strike as a special ability. 2 AT-AT pilots could be his uniques. Either Veers or Admiral Yularen would also be great choices, just with Yularen the struggle is behind his unique card. For the 2nd Imperial hero, I would not be surprised to see Gar Saxon, who would play similar to Boba Fett, but maybe more melee focused if he were to have the Darksaber. 2 Imperial Super Commandos would surely be his uniques. Finally, we could also have Eden Versio, who's part of Inferno Squad. She could be a character similar to that of Sabine for the Imperials, and have her 2nd in command of Inferno Squad being her unique. Now, I'd also like to give a special mention to Ruck, who, considering as he uses a bow rifle in Season 4 of Rebels, could either replace Kallus in the Empire roster, or be a brand new addition, but just differing from Kallus in terms of stats and ability. The only reason I'm hesitant with him is because it's hard to say who his unique would be at this point. But considering his involvement in Season 4, I can really see Netmarble considering him as an Imperial Legendary if they find the right fit. Some other heroes I was thinking about but ultimately don't see joining the current game Legendary roster due to several good reasons. Well, first being Maul. Sure, it would be cool to see him in the game as a playable character, but considering he's on neither the Rebel or Imperial side, it's quite frankly a moot point. Not to mention there's really no one who could be his unique character. The guy was a complete loner in the Rebel series, unless you give him a starfighter like Boba Fett Slave 1. But alas, for the same reasons, we also have Hondo, who I could see being an interesting strategic character, but he has the same problem as Maul. He's a neutral and doesn't fight for either side, thus Netmarble simply can't put him in the game. Oh, and I'd really like to see Cad Bane in the game too. He's certainly one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. He would have to first make an appearance sometime during the Galactic Civil War era on either Rebels or the comic books in order to count. His little droid would be his unique that could sabotage the opposition's turrets, kinda be like the Imperial Chopper. Anyways, those are my personal predictions and thoughts on the future heroes we could be seeing from Netmarble in Force Arena. If you agree with them, or have any that I didn't think of, leave a comment below, as I'm sure I may have missed out on some. Also, if you like this kind of content, remember to subscribe to the channel for more exactly just like it. And hey, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up as well, as it does help the channel. That's it for today. I'll see you on the next one.